Hey, everybody. It's good to see you. We are glad to be back with you. Philip, Stephanie, and Deborah with Art Country Central here coming at you. And we are on the back half of our launch week. We have crossed over that halfway point. We met that threshold, and we spit that out just to let you know that we got 72 hours left. So, not much time left. If you're going to get in on this deal, you better get in on it while you can. We've got some special deals for our founding members. We wanted our founding members to have a very special deal. And I'm telling you, it's some deals you will never see again with Art Country. What we're putting into this, we've got a lot put into it and so much plan to put into it that doesn't even compare really with what's already there. So just to let y'all know, I know Steph and Deborah have a project they're going to work on with you tonight. I've got a couple of things we're going to take a look at marketing wise, just a few social media tips and tricks and things to keep in mind, and we'll be taking a look at that tonight. So Deborah, Steph, y'all take off with it.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, like Philip said, we're in our last few hours of our last 72 hours of our launch, which has been a year in the making. A lot of work has gone into it. We've got a library full of paintings for you, and plenty that are coming on its way. And they are. That's for those of you that want to learn to paint, and those of you that want to have your own painting and painting at party studio, that's where I'm at today. And is there an echo? Because there's like an echo in here.
There is a little bit of an echo, but I think it's just where it's such a big open building compared to what it normally is.
I'm lucky to have such a nice large space. It's the second location that I've been in Cadillac, Michigan, and we like this location much better. However, the first one was great too, and we had great community support to get it going, and it's been a joy to teach the hundreds of people, the thousands of people we've taught over the last 6-7 years. So when COVID hit, it was like, what do? I've got to reinvent myself again, which I tend to do a lot, and decided to try the online thing. So I took a membership course, and I spent a lot of money, and then I found out I don't know tech very well, because like I was saying the other night, I'm of the 8-track tape generation, and so from we're all the way into digital now, and it was really rough for me. So when I through a mutual membership group, they introduced and they talked about home-based essentials, which is Stephanie and Philip. And so I immediately got on board with them, and my online presence started changing. And then I had to kind of back off from teaching all these classes and get my library ready for our launch. So I think we have 60 some paintings that you can go into right away when you go in and start painting. But you don't have to join. It's not just for paint party businesses. It's for anyone that wants to have a business, a brick and mortar, have classes or online classes. There's a way to market yourself. There's platforms that you use. There's things like lead generation pages and stuff like that these two know exactly how to do, and we'll teach you that in the group. Okay, Steph, what do you got to say?
I'm still trying to get my tracer together because we waited till the last minute to let me get it printed.
Okay, so tonight we are going to work on this tonight while we talk. We're just going to do the bottles tonight, and tomorrow we'll do the flowers. And today or yesterday, and we have a lemon branch challenge. I did not bring that with me, so
I've got mine hanging back here.
We can show Steph's. So you can find a link for that. Will there be a link in the comments, maybe? Oh yeah.
Yeah, see? We'll get it put in there. Right now, I've got the passport access in there pinned to the top, and I will get the challenge information put in there too. But here's the thing. if hang on a second, my camera just went crazy. There we go. If you guys want to take part in the challenge, you can get there through the passport access. Okay. If you'll click on, matter of fact, I'll show you really quickly. You can click on the passport access and be able to get there. That link is pinned to the top of the comments on Deborah's page and on Steph's page. Give me just a second and I will show you how to get there. Here is where the Lemon Branch Challenge is. We're calling it the Lemon Lane Challenge for right now. Kind of going along with the idea of travel and moving across the country. Here is art country coming together. So that's where our terminology kind of resides. When you get in here, and you can get in here if you're already a member, that's fine too. You can get to the same challenge through your member login. But as a visitor, you can come to the passport office. Now, this would be where you would get a passport to get access to art country as well. But what we can see is when you go to the passport office, there's the costs at the bottom. You've got a monthly access and you've got 2 options for a lifetime access as well. Now, when you come to the passport office, you will see what we're calling the challenge channel. If you'll click in that challenge channel, then you can enroll in that challenge, and you'll be able to have access to those challenges as we get them put together. And what you can do is take part in that challenge. I think Steph and Deborah are going to be judging some paintings come Saturday evening when we do our last broadcast before we close. And in that broadcast, they're going to be taking a look at the most creative use of the painting itself, as well as the most creative, I believe it's the media and what it's put on. So kind of curious and very, intrigued to see what you guys come up with in those challenges. So but that's it right there.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So we got, yep. There's your link to get to. You're way in. And
you have to be registered to win the prize. And where are they supposed to post those pictures for us again, Philip? I don't remember. Is there a specific place so they're all in one place?
That's a good question. Last night we said we'd just post them on the video. And I think they just post them as comments on the video. Any of these videos will be fine.
Okay.
We'll see them. We should get a notification of when those posts are made. And we can go in and take a look at them very easily right then. So I think that would be a great idea.
Just making sure.
Yeah, right, whether you're going to join the membership or not, join the challenge is fun.
Yeah.
Learn a little bit too.
Oh, yeah. Now, if they join the challenge or if they sign up and get the tracer, they're allowed. Hey, Patty, they are allowed to use it in their brick and mortar and online. Isn't that what you said earlier?
Yes.
If they do, so they can take this, whether they join Art Country or not, they can take this painting and go paint it in their businesses, do an online party with it, in their brick and mortar, whichever they want to do, right?
Paint it, sell it on the marketplace.
Yeah. I tell you what, I thought was with me. One thing I thought was really neat was watching you guys painting that last night. You can see the different styles coming out, how each individual has their own style and how they're going to put something like this together. I mean, there were 2 completely different, end games, I guess, for lack of a better term. When you guys finish those paintings up, it's like you can see the different personalities in them. I find that stuff to be very intriguing.
It is pretty amazing. Class of 2 or 52, they all look good, and they all have that person's personality comes out in the paintings, and you just kind of see the joy in the painting. There is, like Bob Ross says, joy in painting, right? Wasn't that what he was called?
Yeah, the happy little tree guy.
The show's called The Joy of Painting. Yeah, The Joy of Painting with Bob Ross. So,
Yep.
you know, art's been around for a long time. It heals, it brings people together. There's, you know, as far as for me, you know, I'm my creator created me, and I'm in his image, and I create, and it's just, it's innate in us to do. It's there is such a joy in it that Bob Ross stole my line. But yeah, so if you, but there can be a little fear in trying to open up your own. I know I had several businesses, and every one, you know, you just got to step forward. We just got to do it, and they grow. I was saying that the other night. It took Mom and I started across the street, and it was no people. Pretty soon, 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, and it grew to I couldn't hold them in the building, in the room anymore. I could get like 40 people in there, but I could hardly get around. So I was just like, oh my gosh, this is wonderful, and it's in a basement, but I have a nice walk through. They don't have to climb stairs, you know, they don't have to go downstairs or anything. But as you come in, see, it's got nice big doors. Over here, as you walk in, I've got all my aprons hanging up and pictures, and I don't have them all on the wall because I've been taking them down to do. But when I first started, I had like 2 pictures, right, Mom? Yeah, I had like, and so now I have just tons on the walls, and the empty spaces are the ones I'm painting right now. And then I have tons on the floor, and every one of these has been a class. I've got, they're stacked everywhere right now till we get back in and get open. But people just flip through them. But that's how busy you can get in a studio. And my town's really not that big. It's not that big of a town, but and it's amazing how many people are still just now hearing about it. But I'll walk you through on how to set something like this up, and just don't think you can't get started with just a couple of paintings, because you can.
Yep.
And here I have my little stage up here. I've got my easel down, but there's a stage right here my dad made me. And Mom's, yeah, a little Van Gogh going there. But it's a little bit of everything.
You know, Deborah, you said something about being able to get a business started. Even, you know, you can start with 1 or 2 paintings. And one of the things that I find interesting is that in Art Country Central, you're starting with a whole lot more than 1 or 2 paintings. You've got a pretty extensive library that you have access to. And, you know, if you were to try to get your hands on that through a franchise, especially one of these nationwide chains, you're not going to get into it for $35 a month. I can tell you that for sure.
No, I looked into them like when they first started. I don't know how many years ago. It was like 80,000. I'm like, oh no, are you kidding me? Okay, so, but you know, I seen the value. I seen where it was, and I thought, you know, I can do that myself. So yeah. It's not hard to do. You just need a few good paintings. And that's the beauty of coming into Home Base Essentials. You don't have to think about what your next painting's going to be. You just pick out one. And if you need me to create one for the group, say somebody sent you a picture and like, I'd like this, but you don't know where to start and how to get it going, I'll create it for your group, and we'll share it within our group, Art Country, for everybody to use. And that to me saves a lot of time. We have one girl that's came on the other night. She has a full-time job, and she so glad to have the patterns available to her, so she doesn't have to worry about creating that or thinking about what she's going to do next. She just uses the library.
Makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, yes, it does. So, Steph, do you have your tracing on?
I think she stepped out to grab something. She
Oh.
took her video off. So, well, guys, while they're kind of getting prepped and loaded for getting ready for doing the painting tonight, one of the things I want to look at is I want to ask you about your social media. You know, we've talked a little bit this week about what you need as far as email goes and keeping things in mind. And in all honesty, there's not a lot of difference between the social media and your email. Steph, you ready to come back in? No. There's not a lot of difference between your social media and your email. It's all digital marketing. Some of the concepts are a little bit different. For example, when you're talking about social media, you're having to work within the algorithm, however their algorithm is set up. And I think that's kind of what I want to talk about a little bit tonight, is helping you understand the algorithm and why it is set up the way it is, and how it works. Because here's the thing. I know we mentioned it earlier this week, but when it comes to your algorithm, every social media platform has an algorithm with how it operates. And what we have to do is learn how to function within that, hang on a second. I've got some.
I didn't mean to do that. I don't know what I
Okay.
touched.
We have some parameters that we have to learn to work with. And as we learn to work with them, we've got to learn to work with them and not against them. Looks like Deborah's having some
Cameras.
internet issues there. In working within those parameters, what we have to do is figure out how to work with them. A lot of folks, you'll hear people say things, well, I've got to beat the algorithm. Look, just get rid of that terminology. You're not going to beat the algorithm. You have to learn to work with it. And as we learn to work with the algorithm, we learn how to not necessarily manipulate, but we just learn how to go along with the flow. Okay. The algorithm has a flow. If I can figure out that flow, then I'm ready and you can face it. And that's some of the things that we want to help you figure out. Now, when you think about the algorithm, Facebook is by far the most largely used social media platform. I know that's kind of a duh comment. You know, it's like, you think I don't know that. No, we know you know that, but Facebook is by far the largest social media platform, the most well used. As such, there are billions of people using this platform. Well, here, think about this way. This is the way that it was explained to us, and it finally clicked and made sense. If you have your Facebook account is up and running, and let's just say you have 500 friends on that platform, following you on your account. But out of those 500 friends, they all have 500 friends apiece. Well, all of those 25,000 people interacting with one another, posting numerous times throughout the day, there is no way to put all of that information into one feed so that you see everything those folks put out. So the algorithms are then designed so that they can see and track what it is that are in your area of interest. And as you like this, as you comment on certain things, it begins to pick up on that pattern. And then things that your friends, that your followers put out that fit that pattern are put in front of you. That's why a lot of times you'll have people who are very close friends of yours, and it's frustrating because you don't ever see their content. So you work to see their content, but you have to understand the content doesn't fit what your pattern of likes and comments has been driving. So this is the way that they try to figure out what content is going to be best to put in front of you. That's why one of the things that we work on, or we try to help you learn to work on, is engagement and what it means to be engaged in your comments and have your commentary, have your content to where it is attractive. And once it starts attracting people, working and driving that engagement. The more comments, the more interaction you can get with other users, the more that opens that algorithm up to push your content out to more people, as well as being able to see other things that are happening too. All right, Deborah, did we make it back?
I don't know. Am I there? Yay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm in the show, it says. You're in the show. I feel like Lucy.
Yeah, you're in the
I'm
show.
in the show.
That's fun.
Okay, so we'll get started. Is it time to get started?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. The first thing we're going to do is we're just going to color in the vases today. That's it. So you have your 1 inch flat. You can also use a 1/2 inch flat if you want to. And we're going to be using a watered down paint. However, if you use a thick paint, if you put it on thick, it'll work too. So this first vase, I made a turquoise, which is dark blue, dark green, and white mix. So we'll mix the turquoise up. Let me scoot that table towards me, Mom. I had to plug in, so I had to move over. Yeah, it's going to be loud. Ooh, there we go. Thanks. I brought my sidekick with me today.
Hi, Mama. How are you today?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Doing good.
We got part way here. We got part way here, and I forgot my phone. So we were ripping cheeks back home to Lordy. What a day. Okay, so I have my turquoise on my brush, and I'm just going to paint it as quick as I can and not leave too many streaks. And if you need to, you can barely touch into water to add a little bit of water to make this flow. I'm using that chiseled edge right by the edge to make that nice line. And if I get out of line, which I get out of line sometimes, that's my husband. No, but you can just get a clean brush, and which I got out of line here, so I'm gonna clean this up. So I've got a wet brush, which is clean, and I'm just going to come in here and take that little bit out. So I'm just going to erase it. Easy breezy. Then after you've got it all colored in, I'm going to clean my brush off. I want the top half of it to be, this is water. You see the water line. I want the top half of it to be a little lighter. So I'm going to take some of my paint away. If yours is light, then you want to add paint to the bottom. But if it's dark, you'll take the paint
no, mine's
away.
way thick. Mine's way thick.
Well, then you remember how we used that big brush this morning?
Yeah.
But you can still get the desired effect with thick paint too. Because all you're doing is you have the top part's a little lighter, and then where the water comes in, it gets a little darker. So right down to the water line, it's just a little lighter. Then then we're going to see how it has all those gleams in it. Well, that's not adding paint, that's taking away paint. Where I can see it. So I cleaned my brush off, dried it off with a paper towel, and you can go to a smaller brush if you need to. The reason I suggest that is because it's stiffer and it'll take more paint off quickly. So let me see the front of that. Right here, you're just run down and see how you just take the paint away. I'm just cleaning that paint off, and it looks like a
what you're painting. What are you painting? We're painting the bottles, the jars, the flowers in the bottles. Patty wants to know what we're painting. She missed it.
Oh.
Today we're painting the jars, and tomorrow
we will.
Can you see it now, Patty? I think so. I can see it.
Okay. So now, up here at the top of the lid, I'm going to go sideways to take off and add gleams. So you're not adding white to it, which I've seen that done a lot, and you can do it that way too. But if you just take the paint away, you get the same effect. If you need more white, if you need it to be whiter, then you just take a little bit more away. And then at the water line, you take it away at the water line. Just a little, just make a little teeny light white. And that's done. And it looks like glass. Amazing. Oh, no, and there's down here at the bottom, sorry. So whenever you're down at the bottom here, it's more like an eye shape instead of a round shape. So almost like a football, skinnier at one end. So you just kind of lightly take the paint away. Thinking, keeping in mind that you're looking at as the front of the glass. And so if you get out of line, remember, I'm going to clean this up because I got out. So I'm going to take this off. That I just did there. Mm-hmm. Is that what you're talking about? Mm-hmm. Okay. And like I said, just before you walk away from it, but you can go back and take it off later if you want. You can add just a little bit more gleam by taking away. How you doing with that stuff?
I was doing good until I realized I was way too low on the water line.
It's okay. It can be low. As long as that stem of the flower can get a drink, maybe the flower drank more than you thought it would. So that's not a problem.
Okay. I was going to say, mine was like way down here.
More turn. Okay. I'm out of plates. So now I'm going to go burnt umber. Now, but if you want a red glass in here, or blue glass, green, yellow, whatever glass you like. If your house has those yellows in it or reds in it and you want to put those in it, just do the same technique with whatever color you want. I used a brown, like a root beer glass. So I'm making kind of a watery brown. So we have this glass behind it. Don't worry about that. We'll get to it. Just paint it like it's not there. I'll tell you, these are good sellers, bottles. People love the bottles and the jars, and Mom could probably find some around here that we've got with hydrangeas in them, and yeah. You can show them any pictures you want, Mom, while you're here. We can show them some of the stuff that we have. And I'm not sure what all I've painted in the library. I gotta go look at the list. What'd you pick?
I said I forgot about that,
Oh,
sunflower with the swirly night. Strawberry.
so I'm gonna let that dry just a little bit before I go and do the second coat. I didn't get it quite thick enough. So you got yours too thick, and my second one I got it not quite thick enough. Here's, oh, tulips, yeah. Here's some tulips in a glass vase.
Ooh, I like those. That's
Yeah.
pretty.
Here's a lion.
That darn lion, I don't know if I'll show it.
It's sure pretty though.
It is, I can show up this
See,
one.
Zoe loves lions. I have a lion I haven't removed yet because I did it.
Well, this is the lion.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
quite colorful.
Yes. Okay, this jar is empty, right? We're not necessarily putting any flowers in it.
No, but so no water, just gleams.
Like this?
Exactly.
What does that first one look like? Does that look okay?
Yep, that looks good.
Hang on, let me see. Can you see it? There we go. That's a little better.
Yep, you can get more gleams. And see on this, you can clean that one. Oh no, don't even worry about it. That's where a leaf is gonna go. So I had to clean mine up right here, right on that corner, because I didn't get it in there. But there's gonna be a leaf there, so don't worry about it.
That was why I didn't do. I kind of traced my leaf down in there, and that was why I was like, "Oh wait, I don't necessarily want to have too much there."
So then, and at any time you can go back and clean and take off more of the paint. And then just a little bit of gleam up at the top. Now we're going to skip over and do this round one. Nope, I take that back. We're not. We're gonna keep that brown out that we have, and we'll go into the green, a light green, and mix that brown with it. And that's the color I came up with for this next glass. It's just some green and brown mix. And so pretty much that's what you do on each one. So this one's going to be a green-brown mix. This one will be a phthalo green all by itself, and this one will be a light green all by itself. But like I said, if you want a red vase in there, this is the time to do that. Don't go over your brown vase yet. Kind of go around it. You can go over the one we haven't painted yet. So kind of paint around that one, and then we'll go over it after it dries with the second coat. But I still want you to take off the, still want you to do the gleams, even though we're going to do a second coat.
All right.
Is gleams the word I'm looking for?
I think it's a good description. It's the light reflections. So I would call it the light gleaming on the thing. So I think it's an accurate.
So on this bottle, I kind of took the gleam and made it a little bigger and let it flow down. And then, of course, on the bottleneck up here, just one long one. So I'm going to skip all the way over to this last bottle while those dry. And just going to go right into my green oxide, which can be any green that you want. I just tried to make 3 bottles that, or how many I got there? 5 bottles that were different color. And you can put a table if you want. I didn't. You know, if you want to add a little table to this, you can.
Kind of like we did with what we did the vase the other day, the flower vase.
Yes. And even if you did this with thick paint, it would just do the same. Don't try to do it too thin. If it's thick, it's okay. It was a beautiful day. Yesterday when we took our walk, we saw a mama with her little Bambi, and that little thing was running around so fast, darting from side to side of the road. I don't think he was darting. I think his legs were just wobbling him all over the road. It was so cute.
Oh man,
So cute.
that'd be adorable.
It was so cute. So we've had, you know, our bear that visits us every spring. This bear though, he's a lot nicer. He climbs up the pole and shakes the feeder and then goes and lays down and eats it. Where the other ones, we've got them with holes and bear claws in them. We just hang them up anyway, because you know every year we seem to have to get a new bear-proof, no such thing, feeder. Okay, so I've got my, I didn't do my water line on this one, which is still not too late. Since it's thin, I can come and do my little water line here. And now I'm gonna do the gleams on this one. And the water. And then we just have one more to go, and then tomorrow we'll paint the flowers. But mostly we want to come on here and let you guys know, if you're just tuning in, that we have collaborated together, Painting and Vine and Home Base Essentials, and we've created Art Country Central. It doesn't matter what kind of art you do. You're going to be a life coach. I mean, it just depends on what you want to market on the social media platforms. There's a lot of them, and there's ways to do it.
And if you don't know a niche, I found most crafty people can do anything they put their minds to it. So if you're looking for something to do to get you started, Deborah has this wonderful library that we are pulling from, and she can teach you how.
Yeah. And if you're already an artist and you just don't have time to create those paintings, the patterns are there for you. And if you know you don't need me to show you how to paint them, you know how to paint them, you can take that photograph and use it online. And then when you go into your brick and mortars, you can teach it there. And then paint it at your leisure before you have to go to class or whatever. But if you don't know how, then you can come in and paint with me, learn how to do it and teach it. And you can revisit it as many times as you need to do it again. So now we're going to go to this one that we just did, and this is just phthalo green, which is kind of it's just a deeper green.
We're going to help show you how to get set up to do things like what we're doing right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's actually what I'm working on. I'm sitting here while y'all are teaching. I'm looking for some other things to show folks that they can do with StreamYard and kind of like the little spread the love reminder y'all see blinking up in the top right corner of the screen. You know, little tips and tricks like that, things that will make you stand out. That's what we're wanting to help you see what you've got to do. And while Deborah's working on that one bottle, I just want to tell you, when it comes to your social media, guys, one of the keys that you've got to keep in mind is what's going to make me stand out. What's going to make me, we talked about the billions of people that are on Facebook now. Can you imagine with billions of people, how many posts actually go to Facebook every single day? I mean, it's countless. And here's the thing. You're trying to get your footprint out there and get noticed. What are you going to do to stand out when somebody's scrolling through their news feed? What about your page? What about your post? What is it that's going to catch their eye and make them take their time to look at what you've got? Those are the kind of things we're going to be helping you figure out.
That's right. There's billions of people out there. You might say, well, none of my friends want to paint with me or get on and like or share. Well, that's not who you're trying to get. There's so many people out there that are interested in sharing their art and teaching their art or selling their art, marketing their art. Well, and like Stephanie said, niche. They say niche rich, broad broke. So if you can we'll help you narrow it down to that niche. What will help get you in that doorway and really hone in on what you're trying to do. Be specific and clear. Okay, so now I went right over the top of this bottle, and now I'm going to do a second coat on this one as soon as this dries. So I'll do my gleams, and we'll just let it sit here for just a little bit while Philip talks, and then do that last coat. That looks really good, Miss Girl there. That's pretty. Your bottles look really pretty.
Thank you.
Yeah, guys, some of the things you can keep in mind, man, when you're working on social media is colors. We've talked about earlier a little bit this week about, working on your brand colors. And your brand colors are going to be who you are. There are some things, for example, there are some things about Deborah's artwork, the way she presents, the way she does things that are specific to her. Every artist has that. Every business has that. When you think about a box of cereal, there are certain colors that when you walk down the cereal aisle, you know what brand you're looking at when you see it, because the colors make it stand out. And once you choose your colors, once you figure out what you're going to do, you need to represent those colors in as much of everything you do as you can. That way people associate you with what you're doing, and they see you in public. They begin to know who you are. And because of that, those things stand out. I've noticed, I've got a friend of mine who's got a rather large following on TikTok. And he said, man, it's funny. You start going places and people look at you and say, hey, you're that TikTok guy. Yeah, exactly. It's because people recognize him because that's what he does. People are going to recognize you because and by what you do. And your brand colors have a lot to do with that. Now, when it comes to posting, we're going to be working on helping you learn how often you ought to post on Facebook, what kind of posts you need to put on Facebook to gain attention to your business, to gain attention to your artwork, to gain attention to what you're doing. Those are the things that we're going to be working on with you. And I'm going to tell you, there's trainings in there for all of this information right now. But we're also, as time allows, we're going to be going through those trainings and redoing a lot of them to make them a little more detailed and refine them so that they'll be more beneficial for you guys.
One thing we hear, or I've heard several times, is that there's so many people already doing it. There's so many people already doing it. But, there were several people who've come along and done the same thing and shown it bigger and better, I'm trying to think who people.
Well, it's just you that they're tuning in for. It's what you do. It's your presence that they like. It's that they want to support you. And they want to build that community with you.
Well, the community that you build, that people are joining, they like the people that you attract, the people that you are with when we do these things. We've had bags for forever, but some people like a specific brand because they like that person, that famous person, their style, what they stand for speaks to them. I was trying to remember who it was that somebody was saying that, I think it was a TikTok voice or something, soundtrack, where it's talking about how, I can't do that because there's already somebody there. And they're like, don't tell me you're not going to do it because somebody's already doing it. Because Beyonce gave us some sort of lingerie, even though, like, we didn't have Victoria's Secret already, Like, everybody comes along and does it their way, and it's going to appeal to someone, even if it doesn't appeal to everyone. So it's you. It's what you stand for. It's what you bring to the table. That is what people will come for.
Yeah, and going through the membership, I watch people start with like 2 people, 5 people, and then grow to 2,000 people, and they're just stay-at-home moms that decided to share their artwork and what they know. It's pretty amazing. And just if you have the desire to do it, then let us help you. Come into the group, stay as long as you need to, and learn how to do it.
Absolutely.
That's it. For those of you who may be tuning in now or East Central, we've got a collaborative effort going on where we're working to give you a niche to be able to get a business going out there. And one of the things that we haven't I think we may have hit on it a little bit earlier this week is I want you guys to think about this. How many of you are tired of the 9 to 5? How many of you are tired of building someone else's dreams while you have a constant desire for building your own? What can you do to help to influence that? That's the kind of things that we want to help you with. You may be in that rut of being involved in the 9 to 5 and working for someone else, and there's nothing wrong with that. But have you not had a desire to work for yourself? Do you have a desire to do something to even just bring in a little extra income into your home? Things of that nature that you need to be able to just either have extra or maybe even just survive. It's gotten where at some point that's where we are, is being able to get you to that point. So If you have a desire to want to own your own business, to work for yourself, but you just don't know what you will do, guess what? You follow Deborah's instruction on learning how to paint and teach somebody else how to do it. And at some point, you're going to develop your own niche and leave the paint behind and go do your own thing. And that's what we're wanting to do for you, is give you that foothold so that you can get out there and do your own thing and build your own dreams instead of someone else's.
We have a Jeff Rack giving some thumbs up.
Wonder who that is.
I wonder.
And you're trying to sell your goods. There's lots of ways to just sell your stuff. If you don't want to get on and teach or anything like, there's ways to sell and promote yourself and market yourself online.
That's right. That's right. One of the things, Deborah and I had talked a while back. She's got a huge library, but she's also has a lot of paintings that are just kind of building up in surplus. When you do one of these classes and you wind up repeating it 2 or 3 times or several dozen times, you wind up with several dozen of that same painting sitting there. And, those things can definitely be put on places like Pinterest or eBay. And I'm going to tell you something. I've seen people. I want to be careful how I say this. I don't want to infringe on, anybody else's stuff. So I'm going to be very careful how I say this. But I've seen people take what we are teaching you right here and then put those same paintings on eBay or on Pinterest or places like that and selling those things for $300 or $400 a piece. Now, to me, that's quite substantial. That's quite substantial. So that's another concept to keep in mind. We're going to work on helping to show you how to do all those things so that you can, whatever your business desire is, we can help you figure out how to do it.
So I just went and I added extra color to the bottoms where the water is. I got to do a little bit here, none in there, but I added some here. And then you can come back with it's not quite dry, and you're able to still add your highlights. So that's it. We're ready for tomorrow, which we're gonna add flowers to. I'm not sure if they'll be the same flowers, but we're gonna add. Oh, I like the blue glass. That's really pretty.
Yeah, I've seen some blue glass around, so I thought, well, I've got a blue-green mix, a green and brown mix, and then the brown, and I thought, well, there's a green and there's a blue. Let's just see what we get there.
Pretty.
A little bit higher there.
It reminds me of the vase in Tuscany. What is that? That girl goes to Italy. Diane, Mom. What is that movie where she goes to Italy and buys a bungalow? And anyway, she has this beautiful blue vase that I wanted for a long time. Oh,
Diane Keaton?
No, it's not her, but I just love this actress too. And she gets a divorce and goes and buys this little old bungalow in Italy. The only thing she takes with her is a vase, and it's that blue vase like that. It looks just like that. So anyway, that's that. So if you just jumped on it, we are now Art Country Central. You can still come on and paint with me. My paintings are available to those, and I do have women that just paint. They don't want to go into business, but if you join Art Country Central, you have them all at your disposal, and you get a much better price. So even if you don't want everything that's in the membership, it's still a better deal paint-wise.
Yeah, it is. When you think about what a painting class costs individually.
Yeah, I went through
I
all
think
the work to
I
get
think we're
a
having some
lawyer, and
technical
had one
issues a
in
little
Portland,
bit.
Oregon. The guy since retired. Oh, well, I moved the camera a little bit too, and I'm in a basement, so.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. It looks like it's just a little bit choppy. I said, I bet she's having some connection issues right there. Kind of like what I was having the other night. I think it was Monday night when we were broadcasting. I was like, my word, that is so choppy.
But I didn't know. I mean, I had heard about how to, you need a lead generation page, and all the jargon that goes with setting up a membership and an online business, or all that stuff. And it just didn't click for me till I met Phil and Stephanie, and that's when things started changing online for me in my business. The whole look and feel of it too. So that's another thing. Even if you've been doing it for a little while and you've had some success, but really would like to go a few steps further, then that's what the group will help you with.
That's one thing we wanted to throw out there for you. Stephanie and I were talking about this, and I think Deborah and us have talked about it too. Guys, one of the things we want to do is we want to make this accessible for you and usable. One thing that we have learned is that for some folks, and I don't think there is a specific generation this affects, I don't think there is a specific personality this affects. But for some folks, trying to do the labor side of a business, as far as thinking about painting, setting up classes, whatever it is that you're doing, getting parties put together. For some people, the workload of trying to do that and do your marketing is overwhelming. So, one of the things that we were talking about doing is there are some training programs out there that will let you bring one person to that program with you to be able to be what we would call a virtual assistant, to learn how to do some of your backstage work for you while you're doing everything out front. So one of the things that we want to do to make available for you is, if you find yourself in that category, if you find yourself in the category of not being able to do both sides of it, and it's just overwhelming, and it's about to drive you out of your mind, then you are welcome to bring someone along with you that would be your VA. And those other deals, they charge about half the cost of what they charge normally to be able to bring that extra person with you. But what we're telling you is, look, if you need some help with this, we want you to succeed. If you need some help with this, then you are more than welcome to have someone else there with you, taking part in going through the digital marketing stuff if it's just too much. Because for a large number of people, it's too much. So whatever you do, don't let that get you down. Okay? If you need that extra boost, that extra push, that extra help, we want you to have that. Because again, our main goal and main desire is to see you succeed and see you at the top. And we know that sometimes you need a little bit of help to get you there.
Yeah, and if it's a paint party business, the supplies, what you need to have, how much you need to have, and how to just get that your foot in the door and get it started is and we'll help you with that. It's just so much fun to do. I love my job. I don't always like going to work, believe me, but because you start getting so many classes and so many classes. I would love to have an artist help me, but I don't have one in the area. I do, but they're going to college, so once they get out. But the joy of being my own boss and going to work when I set the class times for, and just seeing, there's nothing better than seeing people feel so accomplished about themselves. It's so fun, and there's always talk and laughter and joking and camaraderie in a classroom situation.
That's right. You know, I've had some jobs in the past where I just hated the job. I'll be straight up. I hated it from day one, thought it would be okay, but from day one, hated that job, and it never got any better. And I was told a long time ago I was at one of those jobs, and it was obvious that I didn't like what I was doing. And I had one of the older fellas come up to me and he said, "Son, one thing you need to keep in mind for the rest of your life is if you don't like what you're doing, if you don't love what you're doing, you need to go do something else." And what we're wanting to do is give you something else, something that you love doing. I mean, how cool is it? Deborah gets to go do what she wants to every day. How cool is it? Stephanie and I get to go do what we want to every day. You know, I'm not giving up my life's work. I'm a gospel preacher. That's my full-time number one work. I'm not giving that up. I love what I do. But I also love being able to help other folks be able to achieve what their goals too. And if we can help with that in some way, be one little cog in the wheel, man, that's great. That is great.
Yeah, and if it's a paint sip and there's one in your town, don't worry. There's always room for everyone. You know,
That's
I
right.
had one right down the street from me, and we collaborated with each other. I painted at her studio. I paint here. I paint at her studio. Her people came to me. My people came to her. And so there's a way to work together because everybody has a different style. And you'll find your own style, even though, you know, I created my own style. I'm self-taught, but every time you take a class with someone, we're just trying to quickly take you up to the level that we're at. You know, all the work that we did, we want to bring you up there as quickly as we can. So you're painting. And ask Stephanie, I mean, she's been painting with me on quite a bit in the last few days, and I've seen her develop understand the techniques and use them too. We painted a lighthouse together today, and she did a wonderful job. And she has her own style, and she's doing the one-stroke painting that goes right in with the stuff that I do. And I think together we'll have a nice library for everybody.
I believe so. I believe so. Guys, here's one of the things I
looks like
want you to
she's
keep in
frozen.
mind. When you are thinking about social media marketing, all right, I want you to kind of take a look at your social media footprint. I want you to look at your representation in your social media outlets, whether you're using Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, TikTok, whatever it is. And there's a couple of concepts that you ought to keep in mind when you're trying to work on that social media footprint. One of those is being consistent across the board. You need to be the same across all of those platforms. And because that way, when someone comes across you, they're not seeing something completely out of the ordinary and what they're not used to. All right. So you need to try to keep things the same, universal across those platforms. We're going to talk a little bit more about this tomorrow night. We've got some guests that are going to come in with us tomorrow night. So if we have time, we're going to look at this a little bit. If we don't, then we'll look at it Saturday. But I want you to do a review of your profile. We're on Facebook and YouTube right now. So most of you that watch this are going to be on Facebook. So take a look at your Facebook profile. Look at it as though you're looking at someone else's. Is there something about your profile that does not say this is me? Is there something about your profile that detracts from what you want to represent? Okay. What I mean by that, when you look at your profile, if you're using your personal profile as a business or as part of your business, which here's the thing, guys. It doesn't matter if you have a business page or not. Your business page is tied to you. You are a representative of that business page. You know, some folks don't understand that, and they'll put things. Let me put it this way. Some things that I have seen. Individuals who will own business pages will be one way on their business. They're very professional, clean cut. Everything is orderly and very nice presented on their business page. But then you go to their profile and it's full of vulgar content. Now, for me, what's that going to do? Well, that's going to tell me I'm dealing with two different people right here. Am I even dealing with the same person, or is there something going on here? What I'm saying is the personality that you portray is the personality you're going to attract. So however you portray your business, if your personal profile detracts from how you portray your business, you're going to have some conflicts there. Everything you do across the board needs to be universal. So from your brand colors to your picture to the type text that you use, the things that you post, all of those things need to have a universal sense to them so that someone sees you and knows that that's a representative of you. So keep those things in mind when you are working through your social media and the ways that you design your post, the way you design your profile, all of those things come into play. Now, when you get into art country, we've got some tips and tricks for you to help you to keep in mind that will help you with being able to get your profile set up right, so that when folks see that, there is a professional representation so that when they tie that to your business, there's not something that detracts from that presentation. But we'll talk about that a little bit more tomorrow, either tomorrow and or Saturday as we begin our wrap up.
Now, tomorrow we're going to come on a little bit later than we have the rest of the week, right?
Yes. I believe we are shooting for 5 o'clock Central Time tomorrow. We've got a guest that's going to be on with us for a little bit, and we need to adjust our time so that she can be on with us, and it doesn't interrupt, the things that she has going on. So the plan for tomorrow is to broadcast at 5 p.m. Central.
Okay, so Friday at 5 here on our pages where we've been all week. But also remember that tomorrow morning in that same group we've painted in, we're doing, hey, Tammy, how are you, sweet lady? We've been painting in Tammy's group all week over at Painted Soul Creative Journey. And we've done a couple of projects over there. So if you have not joined that group, there's a lot of cool stuff going on in that group. So
it may just be me, but your little glass bottles look like they got something in them.
Yep.
Well, I thought they were supposed to, or most
And
of them.
tomorrow, when we paint, we'll have flowers in them. I'm not sure if these, I don't know if it'll be these flowers, but it'll be, I know we'll do a hydrangea. Some of the paintings are best when you're up close and watch them in the library. So you can really paint them. It's hard to, right here to get the detail. So I'll pick flowers that we can be successful at online here.
All right. I did the tracer based on that one. So when I traced, I did these, but I think you've got another one that's a little more generic if we need it.
Yeah, and that won't matter. You'll be able to, even if they're traced on with that pattern, you'll be able to put the other flower right on top.
All right.
Thanks, you guys.
That looks like a success to me right there. Y'all did good. Guys, we just want to wrap this up with reminding you that Art Country Central is open and launching this week. We are looking for our founding members. If you want to be a founding member of Art Country, now is the time to do it. We will be shutting down. We will be closing doors, completely closing doors. Nobody's getting in past Saturday at 10 p.m. Central Standard. That's when we're shutting the doors. We do have a few spots left at that $30 a month founding member special. Remember, I told you we had a few spots that founding members would be able to hit for $30 a month. Once we hit that limit, it's going up to 35, and we've also got a 50-seat cap at the 35. So just so you know, we are keeping it small because within this founding member portion, we still have a lot of work that needs to be done for which we need your feedback on. As I've said before, we're going to have your fingerprints on the blueprints of our country central. This isn't just our country, y'all. This is y'all's country. And that's why we want to build it. That's what we want it to be. Ladies, y'all got anything else?
Nope. No.
All right,
Thanks
guys.
for joining us. And
That's
if you
it.
know
Oh,
anybody
wait.
that does something
Maybe
creative, that
maybe
you
if
think might-
people know anybody that know anybody that needs to do this, they know anybody that might be interested and this might apply to, maybe you could do that.
That's it.
Tag
That's
them in the
right,
video.
I need one of those signs. I need
That's
one of
it
those
right
signs.
there. All right, guys. Well, we're going to cash out of here tonight. Boy, I can't get them getting tongue tied. Something terrible right now. Appreciate y'all tuning in with us and watching. It has been wonderful to visit with you this evening. We hope you'll have the opportunity to be back here with us tomorrow night. Don't forget, the ladies are going to be painting on the Painted Soul Creative Journey in the morning at 10 o'clock Central. So they'll be getting another painting going there. And then we will be back here, Lord willing, at 5 o'clock Central tomorrow night to finish up these flowers in the bottles, as well as taking a look at getting an opportunity to visit with a couple of other people that we have not yet got to visit with. So till then, y'all be blessed. We will see y'all tomorrow night.
Thank you. Thank you. Mom says bye.
My computer just went banana.
You're still live, babe.